Can we start it next time? We have to start starting it before.
Like with the ads?
Oh no! Oh no! Like I mean, just to like put it up, and then we just click go, right?
Well, two. Yeah, it's two of them.
Okay.
That's fine.
Next time I'll do it. Oh, my bad. Welcome to bChic, Not Bougie. I'm your host, Alicia, alongside DJ Richie. Richie, you had me thrown off today. I was not prepared. I thought you were going to give me a heads up. I didn't get to put the link in yet, so guys, bear with me. How are you doing today, DJ Richie?
I'm good. I feel
good?
like a little more energetic than usual. I don't know why.
You feel a little bit more energetic than usual?
Yeah, I do.
You got some today?
No, I would have been. I would be super tired if that was the case. But
You just gotta and as you know,
I was coming dragging. Sorry, go ahead.
As you know, my bestie's in the building because you can always hear her voice above all. Like, so welcome, Candace. How you doing?
I'm great.
You're doing great. She never wants to be seen on camera, which don't worry, we're gonna just.
Oh.
Did you want to sit beside me today?
Shoot. No.
Well, she here in the building. I'm actually gonna ask her to do me a big favor because, as per usual, I didn't get to share the link yet. So she can post the link. So if you haven't been tuning in yet, you'll see it soon on YouTube. But for now, definitely, if you're watching Facebook Live, you will see it. So how's everything? How was your week, Richie? Your weekend?
Weekend was good. The week has been good. This weekend, kind of same old. I did the daughter thing.
Continue. It's just me and my painful. Oh, go ahead.
And yeah, that was it. It was a good weekend.
It was a good weekend.
What did you do?
Okay, honestly, guys, I'm never gonna give up on the nails, so it's not gonna matter anymore. But I was play fighting and I broke my nail in half, and this was a couple weeks back, right? And so, anyways, it healed. I went to the nail salon. She redid them because it was just torn, and then she kind of glued it back and then put on the acrylic. Now I, a couple, maybe 4 days now, was going out and I dropped something, my phone, and I went to go pick it up, and my nail banged into my knee and ripped all the way off. So yeah, I banged it again yesterday into the fridge. You know, it's just, and then I cut my finger in half with a knife.
You don't think that like it's a sign? You don't think that nothing is saying like, hey, maybe this isn't
for you? No, never. Beauty is pain, ladies, and we know this. So I'm just gonna continue to suffer with nice nails on. Yeah, and then I sliced my thumb yesterday actually, while I was making spaghetti squash Alfredo with fried chicken.
Is there that left?
There's actually some left for you for later, so you can have some, honey. But yeah, I'm trying to eat healthier. You guys know, trying to avoid the carbs and eat more veggies. Yeah.
How's it going for you?
It's going good because you know what? I love everything. And you add cheese to anything and some sauce and some chicken or meat, and you know.
Is cheese allowed?
Excuse me. Whose diet is it?
Sorry.
It's my diet.
My bad.
I'm gonna continue to, because the thing is, I'm not gonna lie to myself. I can't cut out everything. Let's just be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like having at least, you know, I'm substituting the carbs. So I feel like that's a big step already.
Right.
Why really do the cheese? What is the cheese doing to you? Yeah.
I don't eat cheese, so.
That's why I couldn't live without it. Me either. And that's just the truth. Okay, so I'm gonna bear with me. The whole thing's gonna rip off, by the way. I wish you guys could see this, but it really hurts. Anyway, Candace, how was your weekend? Your weekend was good?
It was really, really good. Very busy.
I know you're going to MLK. I can't even speak, but.
Yeah, I'm okay for the weekend. This weekend coming up in Blue Mountain. That's gonna be lit.
Oh, okay. I know you're probably gonna mention that, so I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh no,
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were, but.
No. Please go ahead, please.
Okay, I just wasn't sure, but I know she's gonna be going there, so. Yeah, people have a good time. Be safe. It's gonna be hella cold. I heard this Sunday is supposed to be freezing.
This weekend looks like.
And you're gonna be in the coldest area.
Super cold. I just was talking to someone. I'm like, after, I think I'm going out Friday, but after I get home Friday night, that's it.
That's
I'm
a
done
wrap.
for the weekend.
I don't want to go
I'm
nowhere.
not going anywhere for the weekend. I'm done. Good.
But we've been blessed with a really good winter, so I'm not gonna complain. So far, so great.
Yeah. I'll still take the cold over the snow too.
I say this all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know
Hallelujah.
anymore. This cold is killing me on the
I'll
inside.
take it.
I don't know anymore,
I'll take
man.
it.
I don't
Because
know.
the thing is, people can't drive, and I rather not have to deal with shoveling the driveways, being in traffic for
Exactly.
2 hours. Then it usually is a 20-minute drive. I'd rather deal with it. So,
No.
we get here and there. But let's get into our Stay Woke news update. So, police say a person may have been sleeping in the laneway of the building in the city's financial district when they were struck and killed by a garbage truck Tuesday morning. Did I read this one? Sorry, when you're just having a moment. You guys didn't hear this. This is not new. Okay. I sometimes I have my old notes and my new notes, but this is new, so I'm sorry. I caught myself while I was reading it, and I'm like, the reason why it sounds familiar.
It sounds like the person in the box.
That's what it was. Okay,
It sounds
kind
like
of struck
the
me.
person in the box.
But also because I read it again earlier today, so that's why it sounds so
Preparation
familiar.
is key.
I was
Preparation
like,
is.
I think I read this already to you guys, and this is old, but this is brand new. I apologize. So police say a person may have been sleeping in a laneway of a building in the city's financial district when they were struck and killed by a garbage truck on Tuesday morning, or this morning. Speaking to reporters at the scene, police say earlier information suggests that shortly before 6 a.m., a garbage truck was backing into an alleyway in the area of Adelaide and York Street when the driver struck a person who may have been sleeping on the ground. Despite life-saving efforts by paramedics and police, the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. That's very unfortunate. The age and the gender of the victim may have not been released yet, but it will. A man who identified himself as Daniel told CP24 that he operates a building in the area and frequently sees homeless people sleeping in the laneway where the victim was struck. And the man said the staff will often try to wake people up sleeping in the laneways and asking them to move, but sometimes language barrier can be difficult to explain to them. So the drivers, when they are backing up, they can't see in that angle. Unfortunately, that's kind of what took place in this incident, and members of the collision reconstruction team are currently investigating the officers that are asking the motorists to avoid northbound University area. So I know that was earlier today. So they're reviewing security footage, and obviously these things I think need to have like some huge ash mirrors, because those new, especially garbage trucks, are very big. So I mean, on the top of it, I mean, really, people shouldn't be sleeping in the lane ways. And I know, obviously, they're homeless, but sidewalks, like laneways, come on, like that's very dangerous and hard to notice, especially when you're trying to do your job, trying to watch out for traffic.
Early in the morning, it's dark.
Yeah, and dark at that, right? So that's very unfortunate and very sad. I'm sorry for that person and their family, and condolences to them. A 16-year-old boy has been arrested after allegedly stabbing his sister at home in Ajax last weekend. According to police, officers were called to the residence in the area of Westney Road and Ritchie Avenue in Ajax at around 8:20 a.m. on Friday for a reported domestic-related incident. Officers arrived to find a 17-year-old girl suffering from a stab wound. Police said she suffered from serious but non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to the local hospital for treatment. The girl's brother was later arrested and charged in connection with the stabbing. The boy cannot be identified because of the provisions of the Youth Criminal Justice Act, and has been charged with assault with a weapon and assault with causing bodily harm. And he was held for bail hearing and following his arrest. Okay. My only thing I have to say is that's horrible, obviously, but I grew up with brothers, so I know when we get into fights how they can turn into, and I was the one who used to love to grab for the knife just because I was smaller, right? So God forbid if I actually used it, because I mean I kind of just always took it out like, yeah, try me again, and never really
got there.
Yeah, I never really did I probably but never stabbed. Swung, you know what I mean? I'm being honest. I was young, but
and crazy.
but you know what? Because when you're heated and you're angry as a sibling, and your brothers or your sisters, you guys know how to really, push each other's buttons, right? And unfortunately, when you're in an altercation with a sibling, it's very difficult to assess it when it comes to these type of things. I mean, obviously he stabbed her, or she
got pretty serious.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to judge. Like I'm gonna say brothers, sisters, cousins, especially cousins. I said did it to my cousin. I'm sorry. I apologize to Aaron.
You stabbed your cousin?
You know, we're little, but it was like a butter knife. It wasn't a real knife. But
You stabbed your cousin?
No, I took it out. Like,
Oh.
I've been, and I'm not that girl. Like, don't ever be like, oh, she's one of those. But I was young, and I watched a lot of scary movies, and I just figured I need to protect myself at all costs. But I never actually, did it and did a follow through, and I was always grounded for that. So
You say you were almost?
always,
Oh.
always grounded.
Hold
for
on.
it.
Sorry. Hold on. You were always grounded for pulling out knives?
Yeah,
That's what I was just about to say.
when I would do it.
More than once.
So,
More than once.
because I
Don't
thought
get me wrong,
it was
it's
like a one-time
No.
situation.
You were listening to my story. I said my brother, and then I apologized for my cousin. So I'm just saying, there was a couple of times.
There were several people
There was a
there.
couple of times I had to let people.
But then you said, but that's not you.
It's not me now, but when I was younger, and I never followed through.
Got it.
Okay, I'm just gonna move on. I apologize.
We just want to.
Okay, and I paid for it back then. So a 42-year-old woman is facing numerous charges after allegedly defrauding a senior citizen in her care of more than $100,000. Provincial police say they began investigating the woman last May. They alleged she was caring for the 95-year-old woman for an unspecific amount of time prior to the investigation. Police say the senior citizen nearly lost $150,000 worth in jewelry, which they described as a substantial amount of her life savings. Martina Havel of Leeds and the Thousand Islands Township is facing 6 charges, including 1 count of each of fraud over $5,000, theft over $5,000, and breach of trust. Police say anyone with information or similar cases is urged to contact them. And I think that's pretty serious, though, because there's a lot of people obviously under care and, that don't have family members to watch after them. So if you do know somebody in these situations, please try to help them out. And that's it for Stay Woke News Updates. What's going on for events, Richie?
So in our events, as you were saying, MLK weekend is happening this weekend.
I knew you were gonna say it. See?
No, I wasn't even. I'm just reminding people. No, I really didn't even
I
have it
thought
on
you
there. But no, I always say every year I'm gonna go, and I really tried this year.
Sure.
And it didn't. It just didn't work out.
happen.
It just didn't happen.
There.
So next year we'll try it out. But I think it was for the best, because God knows I don't.
God knows what.
God knows I don't like the cold.
Oh, I thought you were saying something entirely.
You see, Candace, your mind, like your mind is.
Always.
I told you when I came in.
All right, so back to these events. So, and this is not even gonna help it. I should skip this one now, but I found this event pretty interesting. It's called Bigger, Better, Multiple Orgasms for Women.
Well, yeah.
So it's basically like a seminar happening this Thursday, January 17th.
And all you men need to be there.
It's
That's really
actually
who it's for.
it's actually for women.
That's fine, but it should help men too.
We're not allowed to go.
But to go on.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
That's stupid.
It's just for
They're
women.
the ones supposed to help
I know,
us with
right?
that. I don't know.
Well, I guess this is part of it. They're trying to teach you how to have your own
Personal
without
orgasm.
the help or the need of a man.
Okay.
All the fun.
Or partner.
So it's happening. It says, come learn how to have multiple extended and full body orgasms. Happening at Good for Her, which is located at 175 Harvard Street in downtown Toronto. The presenter will be Carlisle Jansen, and tickets for that are $35. So, I mean, if I was a woman, this would be pretty interesting to me, just to see what you're trying to teach me.
I guess, yes. I personally feel women need to go up to this because a lot of women do not know how to get themselves aroused or off.
Yeah.
And where their spots are, anything.
And we're tired of trying.
First of all,
Why
you
they
were
need to be
tired,
there.
so you don't think women are tired trying to please them.
I'm sure.
Okay. But I, like I said, I know where my spots are, so I'm good in that category. However, I do feel, no, because I know that's the thing. I know where my spots are, so I know how to show them where my spots are. So that's easy for me. And that's why I've always been preaching, ladies, know your body.
That leads to a question, but I'm going to ask after these events. Remind me to ask the question.
Okay.
Remind
Go
me.
ahead.
All right. So next event is called Flirt with Food. I think this is a pretty cool date.
That's cute.
It's singles cooking demonstration and dinner party. So it's presented by a group called Single in the City. It's a night of basically Italian cooking. Like you're gonna have an instructor. Her name is Laura Bilota, something Italian, I think, like that. And she will be guiding singles through making a classic Italian cuisine. You're going to get a cooking lesson, obviously a 3-course meal, complimentary wine, and of course it's like a singles event, so a potential husband or wife. Hey,
I like that. Hey.
Tickets for that are $60, and this is taking place again on Thursday at 103 College Street from 6:45 to 10:15 p.m. On Friday, Fly Fridays from Luxy presents Dance Hall Diaries, which is always a good party. So they're going to be giving you the best of dance hall for 2018. Free guest list before 11:30. Features White Boy, Specs, Infamous Sound, Mana Gallus, and more. And last but not least, on Sunday, January 20th, Dwayne Morgan presents Soul Slam. And I don't know if this is the first one, but it's the first time I'm hearing about it. So basically, it's 14 unsigned artists, singers, who will compete head to head. So they're going song for song to be judged by the audience. And the winner walks away with $1,000. Yeah.
That's
so,
it, though?
well, I mean, it's $1,000.
I know. I just thought of you.
For one night. It's just one night. You
How
go
many hours?
and I guess 3.
Okay, yeah, that's really good.
Because you're just going song for song, right?
I take it back. I apologize. I apologize.
I think if I had a chance to win $1,000, I'd give it the whole day too. Like, I mean, when was the last time you made $1,000 in a day?
No, I'm just like, give it a little
Charging,
more.
girl. You work all every
Jackpot. Raise the pot a little bit. I don't know.
That's taking place at Lula Lounge starting at 8 p.m. this Sunday. Delicia says you gotta up the ante
Just
if
a
you
little
want her
bit.
to.
Just a little bit.
If you want her in it, you gotta step up that bag. So that's what's going on.
Like 3,000 is not too bad. Like nowadays, it's like 1,000 is like $100. Like I feel like you.
Is it?
Sometimes when it comes to bills. And
Well, I guess,
in
yeah.
life. You know what I'm trying to say?
No,
like
I
back
get
in the days,
that.
$1,000 was a lot of money, and I feel like more and more it's like.
But this is just like 1,000 that you never had before.
I agree. In 3 hours.
In 3 hours.
I completely agree. I'm just saying, like, if they could give a little more, they could, you know?
You should go there and tip them. Just be like, all right, here's an extra 5 or 10.
Yeah. Make everybody pay at the door, then, add it to the
I think that might be where it's coming from.
So, or just to add to the jackpot.
I get you.
Yeah. Is there
Go
anything
ahead.
else?
Yeah,
No?
that's it.
That's it. Thanks for the. You always come with some good events, and I always say I'm going to go to them,
And you never go.
But neither do you.
But other
Do you-
people, I don't go either. But I like this year, I'm gonna start using these as
Okay,
like
we have to.
ideas.
We're gonna actually have to go.
How about this? Events, you get them to come out and host for you guys. So then we can be on scene at these places.
See, that's
Who's our manager?
Yeah.
Did we have it? Did we just?
that's the agent right there.
Okay.
Let's line it up.
I agree. So it makes a lot more sense, actually. It makes it more worthwhile. But and you know what? We'd be getting paid, and even if it's not $1,000, we'd be okay with it.
Would you be okay with it? Because I mean,
I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit. I'm just saying, I will take it. I will take it. I'm not gonna be
Okay.
mad. I take 300 and more, but it's $100 an hour. So let's get into our fashion buzz. So this week's fashion buzz is the late legendary Donald Cortez, which is known as Don Cornelius.
Mm-hmm.
He was born September 27th, 1936 in Chicago, Illinois, and died on February 1st, 2012. He was a television show host, writer, and producer who was best known for the creator of the nationally syndicated dance and music show Soul Train. I loved me some Soul Train, which he hosted from 1971 until 1993. Cornelius sold the show to Mad Vision Entertainment in 2008. And he actually also wrote Tapeheads in 1988 and Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps in 2000, which I actually didn't know that. He wrote and produced that as well.
the clumps, like
Yeah,
Nutty
Nutty
Professor?
Professor.
That's crazy.
That is. I was looking it up and I'm like, so I know there's obviously other writers and producers along, but he was one of them.
That's
Like,
dope.
right? That's pretty big. Cornelius joined Chicago television station WCIU TV in 1976 1967 and hosted a news program called A Black's View on News. In 1970, he launched Soul Train on WCIU TV as a daily local show, and the program entered national syndication and moved to Los Angeles the following year. Eddie Kendricks, Gladys Knights and the Pips, Bobby Hutton, and Honeycomb were featured on the national debut episode, which is actually very big now that you look at these names. But originally a journalist and inspired by the civil rights movement, Cornelius recognized that in the late 1960s there was no television venue in the United States for soul music. He introduced many African American musicians to a larger audience as a result of their appearance on Soul Train, a program that was both influential among African Americans and popular world among a wider audience. As a writer, producer, and a host of Soul Train, Cornelius was instrumental in offering a wider exposure to Black musicians. I can't say musician. I think I always struggle. Musicians. I struggle when I say that word. Did I say it? I feel like I always struggle when I say that word, but it's like tongue-tied in my mouth. So such as James Brown, Aretha Franklin, and Michael Jackson, as well as creating opportunities for the talented dancers, setting a precedent for popular television dance programs. Cornelius said, "We had a show that kids gravitated to," and Spike Lee described the program as an urban music time capsule. I absolutely love him. I loved what he stood for and stands for. I feel like I couldn't wait to be. Why did all these things die before I can get a chance to do these things? Like in Living Color, I swear I was gonna be a fly girl. I swear I was gonna be on Soul Train. Like there's just a lot of things that I wanted to do, but by the time we almost got there, it was too late. So I loved the fact that he wanted a show for Black people by Black people, and this was his dream. They are going to have a movie that will be featured about his life on BET. It's going to be coming in February. If you haven't seen the trailer, go YouTube it. Go look on my page. I posted it. So Delicia on Henry. It's on my Instagram page. But I think that, yeah, like there's nothing, I can't really say anything negative. I want to see the movie first, obviously, to get an idea of like a little bit more background and more in depth of what was going on with him. But I mean, look what he did for so much people. And I know they have the Soul Train Music Awards, which is still going on and still really big to this day. We have our own, Soul Train Music Awards. That's big because you have so many great artists that are out nowadays and they don't get a lot of recognition. They get looked over because, again, they're always looking for the pop in the mainstream where we have so much talent going on. So I'm happy that they have this as well. So peace, love, and soul. And this is why we made you our Fashion Buzz of the Week. Do you have anything to say? Sorry, your eyes were like...
No, I think when I heard about his suicide, it was really shocking.
I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm happy you did. Oh,
no,
I should have.
Yeah, because I mean, that was just I didn't follow him that closely to know what was going on with him. But just having done all he's done and then being at that age where you would think you've laid the foundation for so much and done so much work that now it's just kind of time to just kind of chill, and people were coming to him, you know what I mean?
He suffered through Alzheimer's though as well. So, and then he also had severe seizures. And so since he's had seizures for over almost 15 years, he was suffering through seizures. And obviously people that are aware of seizures and so forth, the medication you take for them, it affects the brain. So since that period and on, he actually wasn't the same ever since. That's based on what I was reading, obviously, right? So that I think changed him overall, and I think it also maybe led to, they didn't really state this part, but it could be depression. You never know, like suffering through seizures, Alzheimer's, a little bit of everything. It kind of affects. And
he may just even have those moments where he comes back to himself and he's like, I'm not me, and you know what I mean? Like you just don't want to live that life, where it's almost like I don't even feel like I'm in control of myself the majority of the time. So
especially as you get older, I think when you're a little younger, it's easier to kind of, I'm not, again, hopefully just to kind of snap in and out of it once you have seizures. But I feel like as you get older, then having the Alzheimer's and so forth, it takes a toll on your body. So I think that's also why that had to do with his suicide. Yeah. It's sad. I know. I was like, should I mention it? I'm happy you did, because I was just like, I'm just going to leave it at that and just celebrate him. But, sometimes you do have to talk about it, which is something I was going to talk about later on. But you do have to talk about certain things. So it's true. I'm happy you actually mentioned it, because I was actually going to just glaze over that part of his life. So I'm like, suicide. So we don't need to talk about that today. Yeah. Anything else you want to add on?
No, I'm good.
Okay, and Richie, did you want to get into entertainment?
Yeah, I'll do a couple stories, and then I have a question.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So Drake is getting to the bag. Like, the man had a really good year last year.
He did.
And like, it's just continuing. So shout out Drake. It's been announced that he has signed a deal worth over $10 million for a residency at Excess Nightclub inside the Wynn Casino and Hotel in Las Vegas. And like, when I heard about residencies, when I used to hear about them, I thought it was like, it's the end of your career, like you know, like, you've fallen off. I didn't know, because then when I started hearing like Britney Spears got one, and then like Lady Gaga got, I was like, oh, maybe this is like, this is something to do, right? Yeah. And I guess it's that consistent check, like, you know what I mean?
Tony Braxton goes down.
Tony Braxton, but I mean, Tony Braxton was one of those. Tony Braxton was one of those. I was like, when you fall off, that's what I, you know what I mean?
But you guys are forgetting, her voice still sounds really good. So for me.
Yeah, but she ain't selling out like stadiums. You know what I'm saying?
Because she's not doing. Like, she slowed down on the music for a while. Because remember, at one point she was retiring. You guys remember that? So that's also why she kind of stopped for a minute. But I feel like if she continued, I love her voice. Her voice is even her new music.
She has new.
Stop your shit. Yeah. No. Hold on. Yeah. They're no longer together. So by the way.
Did they break up, or are they just like not getting married?
They
anymore?
broke up.
They broke up.
You think that's what it was? It didn't seem genuine to me. I know they love each other.
But they've been together for a minute, though.
Yeah, but they just didn't feel. Did you watch their show, reality show?
No.
It just never felt.
I can't watch any reality shows.
All the way down. This conversation over there. It just didn't feel like, I don't know. You see two people together. They were like day and night, and even how you would speak to her, it was just kind of like, I don't know, just it was a little off to me. She just seems so.
But it's baby. Like, I feel like you can't be surprised with what you get. It's baby. Like, I feel like any woman, like, what you see is what you get with baby. You know what I mean?
But then you look at
what you gonna get.
Yeah. Candace is too much.
She's shady today. She's
but yes, Drake is now doing his residency. Well, the residency is gonna start sometime this year. Yeah. So shout out to Drake.
Shout out to you.
In family matters, Rihanna is suing her father.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's kind of an interesting story. So basically, Rihanna is reportedly suing her father because he has been using the Fenty brand, the brand name, and his relationship, obviously being her father, to start some side hustles. So basically, Fenty is their last name. So his name is Ronald Fenty, and her name is Robin Rihanna Fenty. Yeah, so Fenty is their last name. So the father started a company in 2017 called Fenty Entertainment. It's basically a talent development company. But by that time, Rihanna had already trademarked the Fenty brand for, obviously, a few business endeavors, most recognizably her Fenty Beauty makeup line. So court documents state that Ronald and an unnamed business partner falsely represented themselves as Rihanna's reps to gain investors and tried to book her for 15 shows in Latin America for a total of $15 million.
What's wrong with her?
Rihanna...
or not knowing. Come on. How?
Rihanna has sent multiple cease and desist orders to her father, but he just kind of kept doing his thing and making money off of it. So now she had to go that. That's what I was like when I heard it. I'm like, yeah. I was just like, listen, I'm sure she probably hit you up and was like, bro, what are you doing?
Please stop.
Like, can you not do this?
Let me just go
and it was just not. Yeah. So hopefully they're able to settle that outside of court. I mean, it's your daughter. Like, really, what do you? It's really sad. It's
very sad.
So hopefully they can settle that outside of court. Something that will be settled in court. Jeff Bezos is getting divorced. He is the founder of Amazon. He's the richest man in the world, who is worth $137 billion. And
so he's on the market? He's on the market?
Oh, no, he's not on the market because he's getting a divorce because he was cheating on his wife.
He's on the market. Hold on a second. So he's on.
No, he's definitely not, because she's about to get half.
She can't.
She's about to get half. They've been married 25 years, and apparently there was no prenup. I mean, 25 years ago, Amazon didn't exist, right? So he was just.
Half though.
That's what happened.
Did she come up with it?
That's what.
Like, well, I heard that like she was helping him create.
Obviously, I mean, it's your wife. Yeah.
Get $2 billion.
Helping you with the business.
I would honestly, I'd be like, look, babe, just give me $2 billion and we're good.
Babe, he been cheating on you. There's no babe.
Yeah. Exactly, babe. I'm okay with $2 billion. Okay, I'm more than okay.
She's about to have 69 billion.
But you know what? I'm actually surprised the richest person in the world only has 137 billion.
Me too. Yeah.
I honestly would have thought it would.
I didn't even know he was the richest person in the world, and I like checked it in a lot of sources. I was just like, oh, he really is. And then she's gonna become well, if it all goes through this way, she's about to become like the richest woman in the world automatically, just like that.
I'm saying, right?
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, her name is Mackenzie Bezos. So
You single, so you go ahead and go find your man, or just have some good. There you go. Go look at your girlfriend. Wait to exhale and shit.
But not least, definitely got to touch on this as it's still a story. R. Kelly.
Never done.
R. Kelly's record label, RCA Records, has finally succumbed to all the backlash and protests against the singer in wake of the Lifetime documentary that premiered last week. And all of R. Kelly's new music is now on hold and will not be released until criminal investigations have been resolved.
You know why? Because he's probably making some more songs about his personal ordeal.
They
But
like
you do know his other
rewrite.
songs, they have to continue playing them, or he can actually sue them
Well,
because
a
he's
lot
already in
of
contracts in order right
a
now.
lot of radio stations have started to mute R. Kelly.
Yes, muting him, but like
Yeah.
the like SoundCloud and such, they still have to put his music up. Because
Yeah, they can't stop
But
it
they were trying to say
'cause
they're
it's a
going to
part of their
stop.
contract.
Yeah, they were trying
Yeah.
to, but they already have contracts, so he can sue them.
Yeah.
The lawsuit. So.
And that's the thing too with RCA, they can't just fire him. They just can't end his contract because then he can sue them as well. So everybody right now is kind of hoping, because even R. Kelly is upset as well because RCA isn't giving him money to shoot new videos now.
Yeah.
So everything is kind of like at a standstill. So the hope is that R. Kelly and the record label can come to some sort of mutual agreement to part ways, which would get them like out of the fire and allow him to record and release as he sees fit. Even though I'm not sure how well he's gonna do on the independent market right now. But I mean, hashtag Mute R. Kelly is growing, with stations and artists refusing to play or perform his songs or songs he was included in. So far, artists that have removed his songs from their catalog are Celine Dion, Sierra, Lady Gaga, Nick Cannon. I think there's another one, and obviously it's expected to grow. And Toronto's own G98.7 has joined the movement, and they have removed all of R. Kelly's songs and features from their playlist.
That's okay. Like I said, I'm not gonna mute R. Kelly. So.
But it's interesting because now
like you're ready.
R. Kelly is focused on, like, apparently he's meeting with his lawyers daily for hours at a time, trying to figure out a way to sue Lifetime. So he's really trying to like dig in and be like, where we must be able to attack from some angle. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see where this goes. What's gonna be interesting to me is if he does get to sue them, and if he does somehow, some way prove that even half of the stories were not credible, what are all these people gonna do? Like Sierra, Celine Dion, Nick Cannon, all these people that came out against him, John Legend, that was on.
No, because no matter what, we still know about Aaliyah.
But the thing is, you know about Aaliyah when you made the songs.
Course.
So that's what I'm saying. So to turn your back on him now because of the
So
documentary.
I think that he should just deal with it. Like at the end of the day, if you were in their shoes, it does look really, really bad, and you don't want to be affiliated with it. I feel like you should have some understanding. To be honest, obviously he's gonna be upset, but like, you might do the same thing if you were in the same position.
And I feel like a lot of them are forced to do this because of their label, more so than it's actually their feeling. Because French Montana first made a statement stating that, they're always trying to hold them down, like with Michael Jackson, and he's like, I'm going to continue to play their music, and then was like, retract, and he completely retracted his statement and stated that, I completely feel like for the victims and so forth, and again, I feel like it's not genuine, a lot of them. I feel a lot of them are just doing it because I don't want my music to stop getting played because I'm supporting this dude. So,
but I think that's part of the problem, though. It's so funny that in today's day and age where you're supposed to have the most freedom of expression and freedom of thought, you can't. Like, your thought has to coincide with the majority. Yeah. Right? Because if your thought goes against the majority, then it's things like labels are dropping you, brands are not picking you up for endorsements. Like, everything is related to your paycheck. So as much as there's Twitter, there's all these different avenues where it's like people can get their own thoughts out. It's like, no. We get your thoughts out, but make sure they're in line with what everybody else is
and
supporting.
Don't say nothing against LGBT community.
Yeah, you can't.
It's over. It's over.
So it's pretty crazy. Like, back in the day, you couldn't say it, but you could say so much more.
You could say things about black people all the time and just get away with it, because that's what tends to happen, right? Yeah. Like, especially with all these artists, I feel like obviously there's a lot of this has been happening with whites, Asians, whoever, but they don't look. They look past it because, and they target us. So, I don't know. That's why I muted him. I haven't muted him then. I ain't muted him now. So, I mean,
there's still a lot of investigation to be done still. So I'm still on the fence.
I already know he did what he did in terms of
majority. That's what I'm saying. Like,
so I accepted that. I don't condone that. I feel like who he is as a person is not somebody I would ever want to associate myself with. Or remember, you know what I'm saying? Or to a concert at that. You know what I mean? But
even like, not to go back into it because we can't, but I like caught a glimpse of one of the pieces of it, and I'm like, I saw like a 33-year-old went in and she's telling her story. Why do you even have a story?
Yeah.
You were 33. You were a grown woman. Why are you a part of this?
Even these little girls, you're making grown woman decisions.
It's just
I apologize.
Like, I mean, I'm still on the fence with it, and that's just my take. I don't have the endorsements yet, so I can say what I want to say, but it is what it is. But my question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. My question, I've thought about this the other day, and it is it ever okay to have expectations of a partner that you cannot or do not meet yourself?
I don't think it's fair, but I don't think it's enough.
I was just going to... Well, okay, it depends, because I feel like certain things I feel like certain men should do versus ladies. And this is just being very vague and very stupid, but like taking out the trash. I don't want to take out the trash. And I know it's a bit just something simple like that, right? I feel men should do that, not myself. So I won't do it. And I feel like, some people say the bills and all. I don't mind splitting 50-50 with guys in certain things, so that's cool. Some women believe, no, a man should take care of certain things and sometimes can't take care of themselves. And to me, I feel like that isn't fair, personally.
Why I ask is because in kind of along the same lines of the thought and progression and all these things, 2019, women constantly are protesting for equal pay and equality across the board in all levels. But fine.
Okay,
if I pay you, if I'm the CEO and you want the same pay as me or somebody else, cool, no problem. But then ladies have an expectation of men that sometimes isn't realistic or
What
fair.
is not realistic about what we're expecting? I'd just like to hear that.
Okay.
Sorry.
On a generic level, I heard a lady say, not even a lady, I heard a girl say to me one time, I don't think a girl should ever pay for drinks when she goes to a club.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that 100%. However, can I just say this? Men have unrealistic expectations of women. They want us to cook, clean, give them blowjobs. They want us to help them with their work. They want us to also be equal. So now make us go work and be a mother. And you know what I mean? I feel like we also have many hats that we wear. So it's only fair sometimes to look at a man and be like, you still are the man. You know what I mean?
But what does that mean, though?
The head of a household. You should also be able to protect and also guide your family. You know
That's
what I mean?
fine in that sense, because that comes down to like a lot of personal decisions and a lot of personal lifestyle choices. But when it comes to finances, like a lot of women, like a woman on the bus saying, I won't talk to a guy that doesn't drive. Or a woman that lives at home saying, I won't date a guy who doesn't live by himself. These are realistic things that women say every day.
I feel like people, in that instance specifically, if you're a woman in that exact same situation,
You shouldn't be.
Situation. But like what Elise is saying, if you're a woman, okay, I'm not gonna take out the trash because your man take out the trash. That's a little bit different. I do think that there's a give and take in everything. I also personally think that like everybody's different, right? Like I could be good at something that you're not good at. So I could have a weakness and you have a strength. That's the whole point of men and women supposed to be complementing each other. So at the end of the day, if my strength is to mow the lawn, why would you do it? You know what I mean? I'm not going to do it, but you do it because it's not my strength, it's your strength.
Can you think of a household duty that you would say this is for a woman? Like the same way you guys will say, for the most part, taking out the garbage or shoveling the snow or mowing the lawn would be for a man?
I'll say laundry, and I specifically like say laundry because men like to ruin laundry. Like they don't separate properly. They dry and everything. You would hang this boy because this will shrink and damage my material. So certain things I don't mind saying that should be not just a woman, but I feel like for myself personally, leave that for me. Don't touch my laundry and don't touch yours because you're gonna mess it up too. So that I can deal with. Sometimes cooking, because sometimes men they're not as detailed when it comes to cooking and flavorful in some areas. I know a lot of guys that can cook too, but I can cook well too. So I don't mind cooking. And I'm not saying it has to be my job, but I enjoy it. So let me cook. You go ahead, take out the trash after I finish cooking, and you know we can find a compromise. You know what I mean? Agreed. Exactly.
It can be something where you look at it and like, I'm not going to do it, but you should. You know, or even something like finances. If you're not good at finances and your woman is good at finances, you might want to just. And actually, this is a perfect example because I had this conversation with someone. You might want to just give her your money and let her fix that shit in groceries.
Hell
I was waiting on
no.
that. I was waiting on that.
That's exactly why I brought that up.
What?
That's why I'm not saying everything
joking.
that you have, but I've actually had this conversation with people, right? And in their relationships, like in one relationship, like the man obviously kept some money for himself, but then the rest of it he gave to her. She allocated it here. She paid the bills. She put it in savings. She this, that, because that was her strength. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not just saying this because it's the woman versus the man. If it was the other way around, it's still
the
Yeah, he's
same.
good at it.
I agree.
Right.
As long as you can trust the person that you're with, you know what I mean?
And you don't cheat, because then that would be the
Because
major
then
issue.
we'll have real
I'll
problems.
have $0.
Right, but like, and that's a perfect example because that's something that every man or most men would be like, what you just said, hell no. But at the end of the day, if you're saying hell no and you're stupid with your money, you're gonna put both of you guys broke just because as a man you're being stubborn because it's money.
And sign a
You know what I mean?
contract.
But it's really just a matter of that's one person's strength versus another person's.
But what about like, okay, finances is a big one. They say like 50% of marriages end because of finances or
Yes.
whatever, stuff like that. Like there's an expectation when you start dating, generically, men supposed to pay for the dates, the first two or whatever, however you guys break it down.
First two.
I don't know, like the first one. Let's just say for sure the first one. No, because I mean,
Let's start with the first two, three.
okay, first
four.
two, first three, whatever it
Yeah,
is, right?
continue.
We supposed to pay that. And then when it comes time, like in our relationship advances, we're supposed to get an engagement ring, right? And then when the relationship like there's so much financial expectations of men that aren't placed on women. But then women still want the same money and the same money ultimately that men want. But that doesn't cost you money.
Yes, it does.
It costs a man.
Listen.
It costs a man.
First of all, there's a lot of single mothers out here that are taking care of their children. on
That's a
their own.
totally different.
Okay, I'm just saying though.
Yeah.
So don't sit there and talk about this man because they
No,
pay for
but
everything,
that's
'cause there's a lot of
totally
women-
like.
But when you do speak of that, I think of the women that are like, okay, they're equal. There's a lot of women that are taking care of men nowadays because they're the breadwinners.
But they're
then-
cussing about it.
That's as it should be.
Why?
Because I still feel that men are a little lazy in some areas.
But
So,
do you
like,
see that it goes back to what I'm saying? Because if it was when the situation is reversed and the man is taking care of the woman, he dare not ever complain about it because that's
they
supposed
do
to be his
complain.
job.
What do they talk about? I hear a lot of
But
men
they're not
complain.
supposed to.
In that way, I feel like they complain it like an oppression thing. Like they're not necessarily saying those words about the finances, but they complain in different ways. The engagement, all the pressure of it, the this, the that, whatever. They still complain.
And there's women that are also proposing to men nowadays. So realistically, I feel like there's a lot of things have changed. It's not the way it used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
But I mean, social media for one shows you like there's still a majority of women that they want the best of both worlds. They want an old school man who takes the responsibility and takes care of the woman and does all of that. But then they still want to be Miss Independent and I do what I want, when I want, and how I want. But you still need to take care of me when I want.
I agree with that in the one thing to take care of a woman financially, right? And take care of her bills and whatever. But can you take care of her, right? I feel like
Emotionally, spiritually.
Right, mentally.
Okay.
Right? Do you get the woman that you're with? Can you handle the woman that you're with, right? So I feel like a lot of women act independent still because the men these days, unfortunately, aren't real men. Like it's rude to say, but at the end of the day, if a woman, please believe, women would love to, oh, I'm a woman and life is so nice and my man is a strong man beside me, takes care of me. But a lot of men mentally can't do that. So it's not just about the money either. Like if a woman finds a man who can lead her properly, I believe there's a lot of women who would follow. But there's a lot of men in this day and age, especially if they're not cheating, they're doing stupidness, like I said, with their money, or they're lazy, like you said, and they're being taken care of by women because that's what they choose to do. Because society is definitely weakening men out here. Like they're dumbing men down to make it look like it's cool for women to be taking care of them. Like men and women you're supposed to take care of each other.
Right.
But like, don't lose your balls, men. Don't lose your balls to the point where like women don't even need you anymore. So why wouldn't they then be like, all right, well I'm gonna be independent, but I still am looking for a man to be the traditional.
I get
Sorry.
you.
I had to
Go
change
ahead.
the topic, guys, because we're gonna
Running out of time.
running out of time.
No,
No.
for sure.
I like that. I like the discussion. I have another question for you guys after too. So let's see. We're gonna get into the topic of the week. So this week's topic is a trend that I noticed not only with myself, but kind of a little bit with everybody going into 2019, and with the city and everybody kind of hyping it as well, but in a good way. And this is being happy. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but a little bit, it's like, just the whole mood, the whole vibe of just trying to go into 2019 and beyond on a happier vibe, happier spirits. I think when I look at the word happy and what it truly means to be happy, sorry, I keep hearing her laugh. So I'm not sure if she's laughing at me or I'm like, is she laughing at me? And what it means to be happy, like, I'm going to give you guys my response to that overall, to what it truly looks like to be happy. And someone said this, and I'm stealing it from them because I completely agree with them. To be truly happy, what it would be to me is to have all my bills on auto pay and not have to check on them. That is truly the levels that I want to be when it comes to happy. Okay? That is it's a hard thing. Auto pay every single bill on auto pay and not think about nothing. Okay, guys, like if for real, that is complete freedom in my mind. But I have a question for you guys. What is happiness and what does it look like to you guys?
Oh man, that's a deep one. How much time we got? Okay. No, but like,
right? We don't have much time.
Honestly, happiness for me is just being in a place of like peace where I'm just okay with the majority of situations in my life. You know what I mean? Because I know that when you see like these celebrities worth millions on millions killing themselves, like they're not happy. They're not in a place of happiness. So I'm not gonna say money is gonna solve everything and make everything better, but just in a place where I'm content in the areas of my life. Professionally, I'm okay, but I'm still working towards things. And I think that's one of the biggest things, is working on something that I'm passionate about, something that I actually care about, more than just working for the paycheck to pay the bills. Agreed. I think that would make a very big difference. Obviously, if you have a partner that you're with and you're growing in a relationship, you're in a relationship where you're both committed, where you guys know you're gonna have your struggles, you're gonna fight, not every day is gonna be peaches and cream, but you're both committed to the relationship and to growing the relationship. That would be happiness to me. And then everything else is just kind of like being able to help those that are around me, you know what I mean? Yeah. In little ways that I can. Like if I know you have an interest in doing something, like I can connect you. Like even a lot of people, I have a lot of people that talk about real estate all the time. And I'm like, oh, I legitimately, I tell them, I'm like, oh, I know this girl, like she's young, she's black, she's doing her thing, like, and I told her I want to do real estate, and she told me if I ever need any help, like definitely hit her up. And I'm like, you're a young black girl, I cannot see a reason why she would like ever deny you, know what I mean? So if you're serious, I'm like, that's my number one thing. If you're serious about it, let me know, I'll connect you with her, you know what I mean? But like even being able to do those little things, just kind of network with people and help people get to their passion, those three things combined for me, like that would make me happy. Yeah.
Mine's pretty vague. Mine was really small. Go ahead. So it was auto pay. I just I'm not.
Yeah, I guess I would say the same type of thing. Like for me, I think that
help
put
others.
people in positions where they can further their lives and do better. Obviously, financial 100% plays into that, because if you have finances, you can help people, you can help yourself. So yeah, definitely just to be able to just be free to do what I want to do when I'm ready to do it.
Agreed. Well, especially around this time of year, I find when it gets really cold, people get a little depressed. They want to get stuck in their ways. They stay at home and they don't want to go out much. No, in many ways. But what I find that we do nowadays when it comes to wintertime is you go to work, you eat food, you come home, you shower, and watch TV and go to bed, and that's it. Like, you know,
that's the truth.
Very dark.
Legit, that's the truth. Like, you just don't feel like you want to do anything.
And we're not interacting with others. We're not enjoying ourselves as we do in the summertime. And I feel a lot of us start to isolate ourselves from others because we feel like, you know, after a while you get a little hibernated, you start to get a little depressed. You know, the weather takes a toll on you. Our city, however, I like the fact that they have that the Happy Place exhibit in Toronto. I think
Still need to go to.
we have to. Can we do that? Yes, we will. So it's going to be, I think it's until the end of this month it's going on. But just something as simple as that. Although they created it for pictures and engaging people and so forth, I know it has about 13 rooms. It's colorful. It's bright. And I just love the fact that they have the bright colors, the confetti. It kind of reminds me of childhood. And so when I think of being happy, I revert back to childhood. And childhood, I think of when I was my happiest. And I think of I had a roof over my head. I had food and clothes on my back.
That was right there.
That I didn't have to pay for. And no bills, no relationship or marital issues, no debt, no responsibility. Well, I have responsibilities. I have to do a lot of cleaning. But just, wholesome fun. And legit. And I really wanted for nothing. Actually, that's probably my number one thing for my happiness is I would want for nothing. You know, and to me, wanting is, again, I'm not saying I would want everything. I don't need $1 billion, but it would be nice. But I don't want it for nothing or anything, or my children to have to do that, because I know I'm going to have some kids. But I think how we can get there again is to go back to our childlike self. So if this just means, going outside and going for a hike with friends, if this means if we can start saying, you know what, let's plan a sports day where we all interact and have a good time together. I feel like we need to start motivating each other to go out more, because we get so stuck with our electronics, with our gadgets, with work. We sit here and we make a billion excuses of why we cannot do something, but yet we find so much time for social media. We find so much time to waste in the malls even. Like, can we just find each other and really do more things together to make ourselves more happy? Because I think no one can really make us happy.
And you know what? Social media, I think, makes people more unhappy.
Depressed.
Like, it legit makes you unhappy.
Yes.
So, and it's right in front of us. Like, it's so easy to be like, this is making me unhappy. Mm-hmm. Doing these things would make me happy. But we're so attached to this. Like, we're so addicted to it where it's just like, I'm scrolling and I'm seeing people on vacation and I'm seeing people do this and I'm seeing people with their man or their girl or whoever, and I'm just like, why I can't have that? And we see all these things where it's just like, bruh.
But then you don't see people that man, people them hosts. It's not even, I'm not saying
exactly.
everybody.
No,
but
no,
some of
for
these
real.
Things you have to look at and say, you don't know if these people are truly happy.
Yeah.
And you need to, don't even worry if they're happy or not. Worry if you're happy.
Exactly.
Focus on yourself.
No, they don't.
Actually, that's a lie. Okay, can I just say this? And that's what I actually wanted to bring up next, to be honest with you. So the next thing I wanted to say to you is I'm actually happy that 2018, I felt like a lot of people, and I was one of them, were in a dark place. And I feel like none of us were really talking about it. Actually, I was all the whole show. Like, it was horrible. 2018 was not my year. I made it very clear to y'all I did not have a good year. But I made it very clear. But a lot of people were doing this in silence, doing it in shame. And I've noticed this year, I've seen numerous amounts of posts, confessions about depression, confessions about just going through a lot, talking about what they're going through, how they got through it. A lot of the new reality, not new, but like Love and Hip Hop and so forth, a lot of them are the stars, even like Joe Budden's fiance now, Sin, she's talking about her depression and postpartum and so forth. A lot of things start to play out and you're seeing people open up a lot more about it, and they're just being honest. And I feel like before I wasn't seeing that as much. You still see them on social media having a good time, because I feel like just because I'm having a good time doesn't mean I'm not sad. You know what I mean? But you're trying. Exactly. And every day it's a process. Every day it's telling yourself, I can do this. I'm going to seek help. I'm going to read more. I'm going to go out with my friends more. Surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you. And the people that are bringing you down, I tend to feel like that's sometimes what it is. I feel people, you're around the negative people, the negative Nancy's, the people that are telling you can't do it, and you failed again. And those relationships treating you very bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to find yourself and say, you know what, you deserve better, you can do better, and push yourself past that, because once you get through it, once you see a little, even a hint of light, you will see so much more, and you will definitely get through it. So that's something I think we all need to start doing more. And there's nothing wrong with going to a few dances here and there, because
it's gonna happen, and that's the thing. Like, that's
You know,
reality. Like, that's gonna happen. I think that's the thing. People feel like they can't have any bad times. Like they always gotta be up, and it's this stupid thing. Like, money doesn't sleep. Why should I? Because you ain't money. You a human being.
And you're gonna die.
Like you gotta sleep. You know what I mean?
Here.
It's these foolish things that people say, and then people are like, "Yo, that's me." Like, you always gotta be happy. That's not real. Like, it's not reality.
You're not gonna fully appreciate it. Even God says it. You're not gonna appreciate the good times if you don't have the bad.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm prepared, Lord. You know it. I'm having some bad times. I need some good times. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be in glow of it all. But anyway, the glow up is real. But eat that snack. Go on those trips.
She had to start with a snack.
Smoke that weed. Have the edible. I mean, masturbate. Self-love. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself right. No, did you not hear me say no type of serious drugs? Okay, I'm talking about the light fun stuff. Once in a blue moon, when you're not working and you're at home in your house and it's very safe, and the police aren't coming to your door banging talk about breathalyzer. So all I'm saying is we need to do better. We need to focus on what makes us happy and really and truly motivate each other to do so as well. And go find it for real.
I agree.
And talk about it. Like, I'm so happy to eat. I'm telling you, the memes were my life, I swear. But like, all the memes were giving me life. I see Whitney Houston, which she said this to me. She looked like a crackhead in that picture, and she was. Well, she was, but you know, she was doing the most in the picture, and it was like, how was 2018 treating you? And it looked, you know, she gave that smile. It was very rough. It was very rough, and I felt it. I felt it in my soul. I was like, oh my God.
That was
it. You know what I mean? And I felt like,
I was like, she gonna appreciate it.
but and then I felt like so many people were posting them because it was like, it was real. Like, people have been going through a lot of shit and they weren't speaking about it because, again, you go to social media and the first thing you see, happy, live my life, me and my husband. But then give me girl vibe. In the end of the year, you had no husband and I didn't see nobody there. Like, you know, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? No one's dissing.
And even that is okay too.
It's
like,
okay.
yeah, it's okay.
You're on your way to more.
And better. Because I'm going to see you.
Obviously, it didn't work out.
Thank you.
To.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go see you with your next new husband, 10.0, and you're going to be happy anymore.
Try not to have too many husbands. Like, try not to like be posting a new one.
Have as many as you
like
need.
every year.
Have as many as you
I ain't trying to see a new one every year.
Give those ones. You know, just
give it a little break. Give it a little break. But But yeah, I think that was actually, you know, going forward 2019 to 20 and beyond. I feel like that you should be on some 2019 and beyond.
This is Jamie Sparks, and you're listening to iLive
That's
Radio,
it for bChic,
changing
Not
the
Bougie,
way
but I'm your
you
host,
listen to
Alicia,
radio.
alongside
Hey, this
DJ
is Jermaine
Richie.
Robbins, and you're listening
Thank
to
you, Candy,
iLive
for
Radio,
tuning in and coming in
changing
again,
the way
as per
you
usual.
listen to radio.
And,
Yo,
tune
this
in
is
next week.
Kiana
We'll be
O'Quinn,
back.
and you're listening to